What comes to mind when you think about sports nutrition coaching? Do you think about lean, ripped Olympic athletes? About advanced nutrition strategies like nutrient timing, supplement routines, or workout nutrition? Maybe you think about sport-specific macros, how they are tracked and followed to the T. If that is the case, you're missing out on a huge part of what sports nutrition coaching really is. In this video, I will share Precision Nutrition's 5 new rules to sports nutrition coaching that will allow you to individualize a nutrition plan to your clients or an athlete on a completely different level, to implement sports nutrition coaching with a much larger client base, and to create a system to optimize your client's nutrition that brings more results consistently. My name is Robin and welcome to my channel. I help nutrition coaches, health coaches, life coaches, and personal trainers feel confident and competent working with any client in any situation. And if you want to see more videos where I break down big articles and show you exactly how to implement them with your clients, let me know by hitting the subscribe button below. So let's jump right into 5 new rules to sports nutrition coaching that will change the way you will coach your athletes. Rule number 1, don't treat all athletes the same. You might be wondering, I'm not treating all my athletes the same. I look at their sport, their weight, their height, their training duration, their training intensity, their training age, and a lot of other factors. But let's consider 2 athletes. Both roughly the same weight, roughly the same height, the same sport. But one has an office job and really wants to get better, get to the next level. And the other is a father, has a lot of other commitments and uses the sport more recreationally to get moving. Would you still give them the same plan with the same difficulty, with the same goal? Probably not. So, what is the solution? Let's expand the traditional idea of sports nutrition to what Beier calls movement nutrition. The athlete is still at the center, but we look at it in the full context. It's not only their sport, it's very important, but also their family structure, their social life, their work commitments, their mindsets, and all of this we consider in the context of behavior change. So we look at the athlete not only as the athlete, but as the whole person. This brings us to rule number 2. Don't ignore your athlete's psychological and social health. Imagine you have a female badminton athlete. She wants to lose weight so she's a little more agile on the field and can get to the next level. So you might think, that's easy, calorie deficit, let's go. But what you may not consider is that she has been gaining weight consistently over several years, so she has no real experience how to lose weight and the skill is not really developed. Her family very much socializes over food, so eating is a very big part of her life. And also she commutes every day because she's studying for a new degree. And all these 3 factors will make it much more difficult for her to stick to a plan. This is where the biopsychosocial model is so important. Let's take a look. When we look at the infographic, we see 3 distinct parts. We have the biology, that of course is super important. Their age, their genetic makeup, their digestion, their hormones, their metabolism, all of that plays a huge role if we want to optimize nutrition for performance. But we also have the social part. If we think about our badminton athlete, she has the social component where food is very important. So we have to learn about this part as well to give her better support in dealing with these difficult situations. And then there's also the psychological part where we think about her mindset. What are her thoughts, her perceptions? How does she think about losing weight, about the next level? Is she maybe afraid or is she super excited? The important point here is that we have to learn more about our athletes as people and not just as a training machine. Doing that will allow you to coach your clients on a completely different level. You will set yourself apart because you don't look at the person in front of you just as an athlete at the training and the nutrition, but you look at them as a whole person. And then you can consider why some athletes have a harder time losing weight, because there are other factors that create tension and make it more difficult. And if you combine your coaching skills and the science, you have better results and enjoy the process much, much more. If we already talk about athletes being people, let's talk about rule number 3. Expand your definition of what an athlete is. I personally love the idea of if you have a body, you are an athlete. I believe it goes back to one of the founders of Nike. The idea is everyone can benefit from your services as a nutrition or sports nutrition coach. Think about movers, those who move a lot, maybe for their work, maybe in their free time, but they move often and rather intensely. Then you have the next level, the exercisers, the typical gym goer. They go to the gym or they do sport to improve their body composition, to improve their health. And then you have the classic athlete, those who train for a specific competition, often with very specific rules. But if you expand your pool of clients, not just to athletes, but to exercisers and to movers, you have the ability to help more people and in general get better results. Let's talk about rule number 4. Focus on fundamentals before going into advanced strategies. If you have an athlete in front of you that uses advanced training strategies, it's easy to assume that they also need advanced nutrition strategies. But this very often couldn't be further from the truth. If you look at it from a different perspective, athletes often are young, genetically gifted, and they move a lot. So they look great, they feel great, and don't need to worry about good nutrition at all very often. So you might assume that they need something more advanced, but they're not ready and they're not able because they often haven't really considered what good nutrition actually looks like or have practiced good skills. So what is important here to understand is go into the basics first, because all athletes can benefit from basics. So one thing is good sleep, and you will find a card right here where I talk about better sleep for your clients and how to coach your clients to better sleep. But it's also the nutrition part. Basic portion sizes, basic consistency, basic calorie intake. In addition, think about planning and organizing their meals. They have studies or a job, they have their intense training schedule, they may have family and friends as well. So organizing their meals around all these commitments can be a huge challenge. So before you even consider going into an advanced strategy, make sure that they have mastered the basics of portion control, buying minimal processed foods, understanding what might be trigger foods, that they overeat, and what are foods that they eat and digest easier. Very, very important. Fundamentals first, and then advanced strategies can actually work. Let's talk about rule number 5. Use a systematic coaching method. And Precision Nutrition has an amazing infographic of a 6-part coaching method that I will show you right now. Let's look at the 6-step process that PN proposes. Step 0 is planning and preparing. It's about understanding where do I want to meet the athlete, how do I want to meet the athlete. Step 1 then is assessing and gathering information. And as we've seen in the previous rules, this is not just about weight, height, and the type of sport they're doing. It's also understanding their psychology, their biology, and their social life or their social health. From there, we have to make sense of all the information. So we start to understand the client better, not just as an athlete, but as a whole person. From there, we move into strategy and planning. We have understood our athlete more and better, and now we can think about, do they have all the basics mastered, or do we have to brush up or work on some of the basics, like portion control, consistency, choosing high quality, minimal processed foods. Then comes the discussion in step 4 with the client. What are they ready, willing, and able to do? Think about our badminton athlete. Is it really realistic to have no sweets and no big meals? Probably not, if socializing and eating with her family is so important. So how can we deal with this tension and maybe make room for some of these meals? Step 5 is monitoring. Essentially, we check, are the outcomes that we want to change actually, are they changing? This could be, are they losing weight? Are they running faster? Are they getting bigger? And in the final step, where the circle closes, essentially, is you have the outcomes, you see and evaluate what happened. So are they losing weight at the right rate? Great, we stick with it. Are they gaining weight even though we want to lose weight? We have to reduce the calories. So step 6 is combining everything, and we go back into the circle of assessing, strategizing, monitoring the outcome, and then making a decision. These were Precision Nutrition's 5 new rules to sports nutrition coaching that will change the way you work with your athletes. If you liked the video, please leave a like or a comment, and I'll also linked 2 videos here. One is how to coach your clients to better sleep, and the other is about motivational interviewing and how to improve your clients' sleep consistency. Have a great day.